This is a beginner project. I've termed it Vampire Doors. So if you're a beginner in Python, this is a project to try out. Actually what you just need Python installed on your machine. You also need a text editor to work this out. So let's get down to business. Let's try it out. Working more projects is going to make you more proficient in the language that you're working in. In this instance, we're working with Python. Alright, so let's get down to business, guys. I hope you're ready. Yep. Okay, so in this video, we're going to do a beginner project, which is just going to test on our knowledge of Python. Okay, so I'll term this project Vampire Doors. Alright, so the object of this game, you have 3 doors that you're going to try and open. So you randomly choose one of those 3 doors, and then behind one of those doors is going to be a vampire. So if you open a door with a vampire, you know what happened. The vampire is just gonna, suck your blood, and then you're gonna die, and then that means the game is over. However, if you open a door that does not have a vampire, it means you accumulate points. Okay, your score will just gain 10 points. Okay, and so that's the logic behind the game. All right, so let's see what you need, the construct that you need, and everything that you need to be able to code this game. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want from the random library, we want to import randint. Okay, so randint, what randint does, let me show you. Let me print randint. It accepts 2 arguments, let's say 1 up to 4. So it randomly picks these numbers from 1 to 4, any number, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So if I'm going to run this, Control S, Control B down here, you can see this time it picks up 3. So if I run it again, it picks up 4. If I run it again, it picks up 1. If I run it again, it picks up 3. If I run it again, 4, just like that. If this is random, 3, and so forth. So this is the method that we want. So we want the computer to pick a random number between 1 and 3, and then we sort of like choose our own number, and then we compare these, and then we see what happens. We need to welcome the user, the one who's going to play our game. So we need to welcome them and say, welcome to the Vampire Doors. Okay, just like that. So the user is going to know they're playing Vampire Doors. All right, and then the next thing we want to do is create 2 variables. The first one is going to be our score. This is going to keep our score. It's going to be 0 initially, and then you will increment the score each time we open a door that does not have a vampire. And then the second thing is we want to create a boolean. Running is going to be true. This is going to initialize our while loop. So we're going to use a while loop. So a while loop continues to run until a certain condition is met. Okay. While something is true, keep on running and keep on running, right? Until then you can, jump out of the loop. Right. So while and the while loop, and then while running, obviously, because running now is a true Boolean value. Okay. So while running, what do we want to do? So we want to prompt the computer to give us a random number. Okay, so we say, so we're going to call this a vampire number, and then we need randint, and then we pass in the number of doors that we want to open. In this game, we want to open just 3 doors. Okay, we want to make it tight. You can increase this number of doors. You can make them 5, you can make them 10, but the bigger the number, the easier it's going to be. So we want to make it a bit difficult. So just 3, and then that's how it works. And then once we have this, we want now to prompt the user to select one of these doors. Okay, So the computer first is going to choose a door, and then you are going to be prompted to choose your own door. So we want to print down here that is a vampire in one of these doors. That's the first thing we want to alert the player of our game that there is a vampire in one of these doors. Print, and then which door do you choose? Obviously we're gonna have 1, 2, or 3, just like that. Okay, which door do you choose, 1, 2, or 3? Let me put a question mark here. This one is a question mark, and then obviously put back this. All right, and then door choice, door underscore choice is equal to what? Input. We want the user, this prompts the user to input information into our game. So they enter a number 1, 2, or 3. Or 3, just like that. Okay, and then we put a space here so that there's space when they are typing in their input. Okay, so over here, we are done with this input. Now we have the user input. Now we want to find a way, as you guys know, each time we get an input, it's always a string. Okay, so we want to find a way to convert it into an integer. However, before we convert it into an integer, we want to check if this input is actually a digit or not, because there are some people who just enter a letter and it's not going to work. It's going to crash our program. So the first thing we want to know is this a digit? So there's an inbuilt method in Python that we call isDigit. Okay, so if door choice dot isDigit is digit. So what do we want to do if this door choice is a digit? We want to convert it into an integer. So we say door selected. Now we create another variable called door selected. Let's take in the int. We are typecasting. This is what we call typecasting. Door choice. Okay, so we're taking door choice, converting it into an integer, and then storing it into door selected. Now we have a door selected. This is what the user selected. Okay, so after then, we then have to move on to another if statement. Okay, if so we want to check the range now. Is the number within the range? Like, is it between? Is it within 1 and 3 range? So that's what we want to check now. So if door selected is less than or equal to 3, and okay, so we're joining in. These two must hold for this to be true. So if door selected is less than 3, is less than or equal to 3, and door selected is greater than or equal to 1. Okay, what do we want this to do? Then after we check this, we want to check now if this door selected is equal to the vampire num. Okay, so if door selected is equal to vampire num, this is the number the vampire chose. So if the door selected is going to be equal to the vampire selected, that means we have opened the door with the vampire. So what happens? So we're going to print you lose, and I want to suck your blood. Okay, you lose and I want to suck your blood. And so down here, we want to turn this running into a false. All right, now we have a false here. Once we have this running into false, it means we have stopped this while loop, and then we get out of that loop. Okay, there are two ways you could do it. You could actually initialize this running, or you could just use true here, and then down here you can say just break out of this loop. It's as simple as that. Okay, so the next thing we want to check is, obviously now these if statements, they need an else or an elif statement. Okay, so let's start with the inner one. The door selected equals to vampire. What happens if it's not? All right, so else, if this is not true, if the door selected is not equal to the vampire's number, to the vampire door, what we want is, we want to print there is no vampire here. We want to print there is no vampire here. You earn yourself some points. Okay, you earn yourself some points. So you actually earn yourself some points if there is no vampire, and then obviously we want the score to increase. Score is equal to score plus 10. You can either increase with 20s or 15s or 1s or 2s. It's all up to you. But for me, I want to increase it with 10. Okay, so this is for this if statement. So this if block, which is nested within some other if statements. All right, so let's look at this statement, this if block. If door selected is not than or equal to 3, and then is greater than or equal to 1, the user or the player chooses a door that is outside this range. This is what we're going to put here. Else print like this. Okay, so this will prompt them to enter 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, or 3, just like that. Okay, that's what we want. All right, and then if door choice is a digit, what happens if it's not? Again, if it's not, so we're coming to this if statement now. This if statement, if door choice is digit, what if it's not? Else, what do we want? We want to prompt the user, print please enter a digit. Okay, please enter a digit, just like that. Okay, so that's what we want. And then last but not least, after we jump out of the while loop, we want to tell the user something. Print this would happen under two circumstances. Either they lose the game or they decide to deliberately quit the game. Okay, so if they lose the game in this instance, because we haven't devised a way to quit the game, okay, on our own will, okay. Right now, the only way we will get out of this loop is whereby we lose the game, okay. What happens if we don't lose the game? We'll see that later. Okay, so right now we want to print the game is over, and your score, and this is important, your score is, we want to check the score, and then we pass in the score down here. All right, so we can actually do that. All right, so let's try out this game and see how it works. Right, so I'm going to use this bash terminal, okay, to run this game. So my game is called vampire.py, yes, and then press enter. And then as you can see over here, guys, we have welcome to the vampire doors. This is the game. Print, there is a vampire in one of these doors. Which door do you choose? 1, 2, or 3. Enter a number 1, 2, or 3. So if I enter, let's say 3, press enter, you lose. I will suck your blood. The game is over and your score is 0. Unfortunately, I opened the door with a vampire. Okay, let's choose. Let's try and choose another door. Let me choose 3 again and see what happens. Okay, now I'm playing the game. Let me choose 2. Play. Oh! The game is over. I just opened for second time. I opened the door with the vampire. So I just got 10 points. So the game is over. Your score is 10. So as you can see, I'm playing my game. Okay, so let's see. One more time, press enter. Oh wow, this one does not have a vampire. Let me choose 3. Let me see. Wow, oh, 3 does not have a vampire. And let me see 2. Wow, 2 does not have a vampire. So you see, so I'm now playing. So let's assume I want to exit this game right now. There is no way to exit the game, okay? Deliberately. I can only exit this game if I lose the game. So this is kind of, we need to find a way to solve that issue or to solve that problem. Let me see. Wow, I'm still playing 3. Wow, I'm still playing 2. Wow, okay, I got 5 chances, 50. Okay, five times choosing it, and then I got a score of 50. So let me clear this. And then let's go back here, and we want to find a way to exit the game deliberately without, after we lose and then it's gonna exit. So the way you do it, so we need to think, right? So if door choice is digit, what happens? So if door is a digit, it gets into these decisions control statements. So this is where we need to sort of like find a way to make our exit. Okay, so what we do here is this else here is going to come last, and so we kind of put an elif statement, elif here. Door choice is equal to exit. Okay, so it's just like, or you can choose a letter, or just exit. If I type in exit, it's gonna work. Okay, so if so what do we want? We want to break this. We can write break, or we can just write running equals to false. Either way, the game is going to terminate. So let us go and check this out. Control S. I'm going to run this one more time. Run this. If I punch in exit like this, enter, the game is over, your score is 0, and then I exit the game, just like that. Okay, so this is a way you can actually exit this game. There are times when somebody punches in, let's say there's a caps lock on, and they punch in exit and press enter. You see, it says, please enter a digit. There's a vampire, and then it keeps on running, and then you thought like, oh, it should give me an exit. So the way you fix this, let me exit first. The way you kind of fix this is by converting this into a lowercase, okay? You can convert into lower. So what you can actually do is up here, you can enter dot lower here, dot lower on input. Okay, so this, like we said, we're going to get a string, so we turn it into lowercase. Okay, so if I'm going to try and run this, let me try and run it one more time. Here, enter, and then if I punch in exit with caps like this, if I press enter, as you can see, it just exits the game, and that's it. I can also punch in the lowercase since it's already lower, and it's going to work. Exit. Boom, and it's still working, just like. So there are so many ways of playing around with this game and making it more interesting. But this is just a beginner kind of game, the one that you want to try out when you have mastered at least the basics of Python programming, and so you can try it out. All right, thank you for your time. I hope to see you in our next video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you in our next video. All right, bye-bye.